So we should do some yoga. um, you are free to start in a seated position or to lie down for the first part of the practice this morning. So just check in with yourself and how you're feeling, where you're at right now, and then just decide whether you want to lie down on your yoga mat or just stay seated. So just take a moment to work out how you're starting your practice. You might like to close your eyes. You might like to blow the breath out through the mouth 2 or 3 times, just settling into the present moment and truly acknowledging how you are feeling this morning. So acknowledging what you have brought with you to the mat. No judgment. Just honoring, accepting where you are at. What is longing to be known? What is longing to be heard? What is informing you as you arrive on your yoga mat this morning? And can you be present with what is? Having plenty of stimuli makes it easy for us to distract ourselves from what we're feeling. But when there is silence, our feelings and bodily sensations present themselves clearly. Now, can you begin to bring a soft attention to your breath? You might like to rest your hands over your heart as you begin to connect with your breath, following the pathway of the breath all the way in and following the pathway of your breath all the way out. Now, as you focus on your breath and your heart space, begin to say to yourself silently, may I be happy. May I be healthy. May I ride the waves of my life. May I live in peace, no matter what I am given. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I ride the waves of my life. May I live in peace, no matter what I am given. I'd like to share a piece with you from the writer Mary O'Malley that really touched me. Mary O'Malley has also written and shared quite openly that she is currently dealing with a rare form of blood cancer. This piece is titled The Healing Power of Our Hearts. Stephen Levine tells a powerful story about living in a large adobe house heated by wood stoves. Occasionally, he and his wife Andrea got burnt as they stoked the fires. After the initial reaction to pull away was noticed and softened around, they discovered that sending love and care to the burns allowed them to heal rapidly. They said often in an hour or two, only a red mark remained, rarely a blister. And usually within a few days, the affected area was completely without injury. This was so powerful, they decided to do an experiment where, when they burnt themselves, they allowed the mind's insistent reaction of withdrawal and resistance to remain without touching the burns with kindness and care. They found these burns might last for a week or more after blistering and generating considerable sensations in the area. This is just one example out of many that Stephen has shared down through the years about the power of our heart to heal, not just physical pain, but also emotional and mental distress. The reason why I can be grateful most of the time for the health challenges I'm experiencing is it has become very clear that when I react with my mind to whatever level of pain I'm experiencing, it only keeps me caught in struggle. But when I respond with my heart, meeting all the parts of me that are scared, overwhelmed, frustrated, hurting, and resistant to what is going on, I usually open back into the ease and peace that comes from meeting life through the spaciousness of my heart. It seems that the more challenging my health becomes, the more my heart opens. And for that, I am oh so grateful. I felt deep joy for this gentle, loving reminder that touching my challenges with kindness and understanding, whether they are physical upset, emotional distress, or a struggling mind, makes life so much easier. So the theme of this week's yoga session is to meet our challenges with kindness and understanding as much as possible. And to make this a practice, so we return again and again to the heart, aiming to meet life and all its messiness and chaos and illness and despair and suffering through the spaciousness of our hearts, with the added understanding that tenderness towards the self can lead to tenderness towards others. So with this in mind, we'll also be incorporating the chant Shanti here in our practice. Shanti meaning peace. So you can chant out loud with me or just to yourself if you're not used to chanting or you're not a real fan. To begin, I invite you to, whether you're sitting or lying, to bring your awareness now to a part of you that is not functioning well at the moment. Some pain or illness or tension or sore spot, some pattern of discomfort, whether physical, psychological, or mental. And whilst holding this part of us with a kind attention, we're going to chant Shanti to this part of us. You might even like to rest your hands over the part of you that's hurting this morning, remembering that our hands are messengers of the heart. I shared this week in an email the beautiful quote from Jung. Often the hands will solve a mystery that the intellect has struggled with in vain. So let's exhale all breath. And then breathing in. Shanti. 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 One more. Shanti. Now, if you're in a seated position, you might like to stretch forward. If you're lying down, you might bring the knees in towards your chest, give yourselves a lovely hug, and just rock gently from side to side. We're going to come up, those of you who are lying down, to sit. So there's no hurry, just take your time to roll to one side. And we're going to work now with a practice called wheeling the body. So if you find it a bit challenging to sit on the floor, you can always be sitting on a blanket or a cushion to give yourself a little bit of support under the sit bones. And if cross-legged isn't a great position for you, you can do this with the legs in a diamond shape. So always lots of options in yoga. We can modify, we can use props to give us a bit of extra support. Okay, so hands can just be resting lightly on the knees. Nice tall spine, soften your shoulders. And we're going to start to make some nice slow circles. You can have the eyes open or closed, whatever feels comfortable. No right, no wrong. Just listening to what feels right for you this morning. Seeing if you can be guided by your body and your breath rather than your mind or your ego. Make sure you're not clenching the teeth. So just relax the mouth, soften the skin of the face. Beautiful practice for warming up our lower back, creating greater mobility in the lower part of the spine, and also stimulating the lower abdominal area. It's also quite a soothing, calming, almost meditative practice. Good. Now, if your legs are crossed, just change the cross of the legs, and then we'll start to circle in the opposite direction. Good. And then gently come back to center. Take a deep breath in, lengthen up through the crown top, and sigh the breath away. Okay, now we're going to work with a twist. So again, you're sitting cross-legged, or perhaps stretch the legs out in front now. Breathe your arms out to shoulder height. And we're twisting to the left. So right hand to the outer edge of the left knee. Head moves last in the twist. Inhale, come back to center, nice tall spine, and then twisting to the right. So we want the twist to come from the lower part of the spine, and it spirals up, head moving last. Come back to center. and twisting to the left. So beautiful flowing movement. Breathing in to center. And breathing out to the right. Let's do one more of these to each side. Okay, now come back to center, arms out to shoulder height. And this time we're tipping over to the left side. Right arm stretches up and over the head. Good, breathe yourself back to center. And let's tip over to the right side. Have a lovely stretch through the side body. Let's keep going. Inhale. Lengthen movement with your breath. Good, let's do one more to each side. When you finish, you come back to center and bring your hands to rest over your heart and take a breath. Okay, hands onto the knees, or if this isn't comfortable, legs stretched out, or you might even be kneeling. And we're going to work with a seated cat. So as we exhale, we're going to round the back and look down towards our belly. As we breathe in, the chest moves forward, shoulders back, we tilt the head to look up. Exhale, we round. Inhale, chest forward, soft face. Exhale, we round. Good, work with your own breath now. Good, and then we'll take our fingertips onto the shoulders, and as we exhale, see if you can squeeze your elbows to touch. Inhale, take the elbows back, open the heart. Exhale, elbows touch. Inhale, heart lifts and opens. Exhale, elbows touch. Now breathe in, take your arms out wide like you're a beautiful bird flying through the sky. Exhale, palms touch. Inhale, open up wide. And exhale. Breathe in. Now in a moment, we're going to add the chant Shanti here as we're exhaling. So we'll slow it down. We'll do 5 of these. So breathing in, open wide. Shanti. So 4 more like this. Breathe in. Shanti. Keep going. Shanti. Shanti. Last one. Shanti. Now here, interlace your fingers, turn the palms away, and as you breathe in, raise your arms above your head. Now, if this is a bit strong for your shoulders, just separate the arms so the palms are facing each other. Otherwise, the palms are turned up, trying not to do too much of a back bend here. So we try to draw the belly button in towards the spine, sort of lifting the pubic bone up towards the belly button. Keeping the face relaxed and a few breaths here. Good. On your next exhalation, slowly bring your hands down to rest over your heart and take a breath. Good. Okay. So this next practice is a pranayama practice, Bhastrika pranayama. If you're not familiar with Bhastrika, it means the bellows breath. So it's like we're stoking the fire. It's really good for our digestive system and also our lungs. It's quite heating. It's best done on an empty stomach. So if you've had a big brekkie, just go gently. It's also not recommended if you have stomach ulcers or high blood pressure. So if that's the case, just have a rest or do something a bit gentler. Just do some nice, calm, slow breathing. It's a forced in and out through the nose. So if you want to grab a tissue, blow the nose. And we're going to bring the hands to rest on either side of the chest. So the palms are facing each other. So feel free to watch if you're not familiar with this, or to join in with me. So nice tall spine. You can even be doing this sitting in a chair. Don't have to be sitting on the ground. Exhale all breath. So we're going to breathe in through the nose as we take one arm forward. Doesn't matter which one first. And then swap the hands over and we turn. Back to center. Turning. So it's a bit of a twist as well. Now you can keep this really slow, or some of you who are a bit more experienced with Bhastrika might like to speed it up. When you've had enough, come back to center, rest the hands over your heart and just take a couple of breaths. If you feel at all lightheaded or dizzy, that's an indication to stop. So you won't continue. And you can even lie down if you feel really discombobulated. Otherwise, just connecting with the breath, observe what's going on inside. It's a very powerful practice. Okay, and if you feel all right, we'll go again, another round, and this time we'll be twisting the opposite way. So hands on either side of the chest, palms facing each other. So now the opposite arm will go forward, and then we swap. Pumping the tummy in, out. As you exhale, you draw the belly button back towards your spine. Perhaps speeding it up, perhaps staying slow. Couple more if you can. And then hands over the heart. Take a breath or two here. Check in with yourself. You might blow the breath out through the mouth. Good. And then we're going to release the hands and come over onto all fours. Any knee issues, you can pop some padding under your knees, a blanket or a pillow. So we're into our neutral cat position to start. Your shoulders are directly over your wrists and your hips are directly over your knees. So this first one is a variation of cat. We're going to come over to one side, crouch down low, come to the other side and push the back up towards the sky. So come over to one side, crouch down low to the other side, push the back up. A couple more of these. Good, and then we reverse. So we'll do 5 in the opposite direction. When you finish, push back into extended child. So your knees are at least hip width apart. They might even be mat width. Your arms extend forward. Your ears are between your arms. And take a breath or two here. Okay, now another version of cat. This time we're going to come over to one side, come forward, come around to the other side, and then lean all the way back. So nice slow circles to the side, forward, to the other side, and back. Come around, forward, other side, and back. When you've done 5, we reverse directions. Last one. Good. And again, pause in extended child. Take a breath or two here. Good. Let's come up onto all fours once again into our neutral cat position. This time we're going to work with our cat twist, part of Vritti Majariasana. So we'll bring the right hand palm faced up, just directly under your spiritual heart center. And as we breathe in, we're going to open this arm, turn to the right and look up as far as you can. And as we exhale, we're going to slide this right arm under the left, seeing if we can bring the right side of our face, our cheek, onto the mat. Again, breathe in, take that right arm up, look up. And exhale, slide it under the left arm. Last one, breathe in, open up. And exhale, come down. Now we're going to hold the twist. The left hand can stay on the mat, or if you can, that left hand is going to rest on your sacrum. And we're working to roll that left shoulder back. Now that might be enough for you this morning, but if you want to go further, you can extend that left arm up towards the sky. And if your neck's feeling okay, you might be able to turn to look up towards your left thumb. If that's a bit intense, just looking along the floor line. Those of you who want to take it one step further, turn that left arm 180 degrees, drop that arm around, reaching for your right thigh. And then we want to connect with our breath. Visualizing the breath flowing up and down your spine. Good, okay. Gently release that left arm, bring it back down, the hand to the mat. Come back to our neutral cat position. So now we do the other side. So left palm under your spiritual heart center. When you're ready, inhale, raise that left arm up, look up as far as you can. And exhale, slide that left arm under the right arm. This side might feel quite different. That's quite normal. 2 more. Inhale, open up to the left side, looking up. And exhale. One more. And coming into the twist. Now we're staying, right hand can stay on the mat, or you rest it on the sacrum, rolling that right shoulder back. Some of you might be able to extend the arm up and look up towards your right thumb. Again, no right, no wrong. You work with your own body this morning. Lots of options, lots of ways we can modify the poses, and we can also rest at any point. Those of you who'd like to turn that right hand 180 degrees, drop it down, holding or reaching towards your left thigh. Breathing along your spine. Good. Let's gently release. Bring that right hand back to the mat. Come back and release back into extended child. A breath or two here. All right. Preparing now to lift up into down face dog pose. So when you're ready, spread the fingers wide. Inhale, come up onto your knees, tuck your toes, and exhale back into down face dog pose. Now, if the legs are feeling quite stiff, just bend one leg and then the other. Otherwise, you hold dog. Feet are at least hip width apart. You're a little bit pigeon-toed. And if you've got any sort of headaches or sinus congestion this morning, don't stay here too long. You can always come down into child pose and rest, and then you can come back up and join us. Those of you who'd like to add a lateral stretch here, swivel your feet to the left. So your right big toe is behind the left heel, and hopefully you're feeling a lovely stretch through the left side of the body now. Breathe into that side. And then swivel the feet the opposite way. Notice how this side feels compared to the first. Might feel quite different. Just make sure the head is relaxed here. The neck, the face. You might blow the breath out through the mouth. Come back to center. Now, if you need a little rest, you know you can drop down onto the knees. Those of you who are still with me, let's bring the right hand onto the sacrum. Perhaps not if you've got any wrist or shoulder issues, but if that's all okay, right hand on the sacrum, building up a bit of strength in our upper body. Keep the breath flowing. And then swap over, right hand down, left hand on your sacrum. Again, notice, how does this side feel? Does it feel the same or does it feel quite different? One might feel a lot stronger than the other. And then lower the left hand down, drop onto your knees. We'll rest in child. Now this time you can either make fists support your head with your hands, or your arms might be back alongside you. Those of you who want a semi-inversion here, a little bit extra, we can interlace the fingers on the back and lift up onto the crown of the head. So the arms lift up and over the head. And a few breaths here. Turn the hands to the back. Slowly come down. Just rest there for a breath or two. Let the blood equalize. And then come up, extend the arms forward. We're going to lift into down face dog pose again and add, work with a variation of warrior one. So when you're ready, come up onto your knees, tuck your toes into down face dog pose. We'll walk the feet together and raise the right leg up into our three-legged dog. And then from here, look towards your hands, step the right foot between your hands. Now we're going to come up to stand. We want to stay on the ball of the left foot. So if you need to, take the hands onto your right thigh to help you come up safely, even if you've got a wall near you or a chair. Good. So we're standing and we want our hips to be facing forward, warrior one. The legs are straight. The feet are at least hip width apart, so you feel quite steady on the ground. You don't feel too wobbly. So you can widen your stance a bit. And then we're going to take the arms above the head. So from here, we're going to slowly bend the right leg. Take one arm forward and the other arm back. And then we straighten that front leg. So bend the front leg, one arm goes forward, the other arm back, and straighten. We can keep this really slow, or if you're feeling happy to do so, you can speed this up. Find a rhythm that works for you. Nothing about yoga is a competition. We don't need to compare. We're just trying to work with our own bodies and hearts and minds. Good. Now, the next time you bend that front leg, keep it there. Take the arms up above the head, and we're going to chant Shantihi just once. So exhale all breath. Breathe in. Shanti. Take the hands down on either side of that right foot. Come back into dog. Now, if you need a little rest, you know what to do. Drop down onto your knees. Otherwise, hold dog. Keep the breath flowing. And then we're going to do the other side. So feet come together. We raise the left leg up. Look towards the hands. Step the left foot between the hands. And we come up to stand. So we're on the ball of the right foot. The feet are at least hip width apart. Our hips are facing forward. Legs are straight. And then we're going to take the arms up. So this time, as we bend the left leg, we want to swing the opposite arm forward and up. Opposite arm forward and up. Keeping it slow or speeding it up. Good. And then keep that leg bent. Take the arms up. Exhale all breath. Inhale. Shanti. Hands down on either side of the left leg. Come back into dog. Now you're welcome to stay here for another 2 or 3 breaths, or when you're ready, just drop the knees and rest in child, any version of child that you like. Good. Okay, let's gently come up. We're going to have a go at doing a little bit of some squatting. So if you know you can't get your heels down, you could get a rolled up blanket to pop under your heels. It can be quite nice to do this with your back against a wall. Those of you can get your heels down, fine, that's good. Then we want to try to straighten the spine as much as we can, bringing the hands together at the heart if we can, and using the elbows to press against the inner knees. So wherever you are, you might have the hands down on the floor, you might have the heels lifted, it's all fine. Once we come into position, we want to try to relax, to connect with our breath. A gentle smile on our lips. Okay, now you're welcome to stay in the squat. Those of you who'd like, again, a bit more of a challenge this morning, I thought we could have a go at Bakasana, the crane pose, one of our bird poses. It's an arm balance. It's quite strong, quite challenging. Again, if there's wrist or shoulder issues, you may not want to try this. Those of you who'd like to join me, hands are shoulder width apart, fingers spread wide. Think of a bird, beautiful big bird out in the wetlands somewhere. And then we lift up onto our tiptoes, balls of the feet, and we're trying to bring the knees in towards the armpits as close as we can. And then we lean forward and see if we can lift one foot off, perhaps two, bringing the big toes together if possible. Breathe. Otherwise, staying in the squat. When you've had enough, we're all going to slowly start to come up, straightening the legs or keeping them bent, and just hang forward for a moment. You might sigh the breath away. Let the face soften, let the shoulders relax. And then we'll slowly and safely come up to stand. Any lower back tenderness, just keep the legs bent as you come up. Lift your shoulders up towards your ears, roll the shoulders down the back. Let's do a couple more of those. Roll the shoulders forward, up and back. One more. Good. And then we're coming into Tadasana, mountain pose. So feet are hip width, spread your toes. And we'll bring the hands to rest over the heart. Connecting with your breath, you might like to close the eyes, softening the face, and working with our prayer once again. Saying to yourself, may I be happy. May I be healthy. May I ride the waves of my life. May I live in peace, no matter what I am given. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I ride the waves of my life. May I live in peace, no matter what I am given. Just blink the eyes open if they're closed. And on the next inhale, let's take the arms out to the side, lifting and opening the heart. And as we exhale, slowly bring the hands back. This time the arms go to hip height, breathing in, lifting and opening the heart. And back to the heart. And now breathing in, stretch the arms up towards the sky. And exhale. Let's do that again. We'll add our chant, Shantihi. Breathing in to the sides. Shanti. To hip height. Shanti. And above the head. Shanti. Let's do that once again. Out to the sides. Shanti. To hip height. Shanti. And up above. Shanti. Just take a breath or two there. Good. And then release your hands down. Let's work with our flowing bird, breathing in, stretch the arms up above the head. You might like to look up. And as you exhale, bend the legs, brush your fingers along the mat. Legs can stay bent here or straighten as the arms come up behind you. Inhale, reverse, stretch the arms up, look up. And exhale, arms by your side. Synchronize the movement with your breath, stretching up tall. And exhale, down, down. Inhale. Reach for the sky. And exhale. Do 2 or 3 more of these, just in your own time. And you finish this next one, just come back into Tadasana, take a breath. Good. Okay, let's come to the fronts of our mats and we're going to go through a couple of rounds of Chandra Namaskara, salute to the moon. We had a beautiful full moon last night. So this is a beautiful practice to honor the light, that lunar energy. It's a feminine energy of the moon. It's a watery energy. So feet hip width apart, or they can be together, whatever you feel comfortable with. We'll bring the hands into Namaskar Mudra to begin. And exhale all breath. Release your arms down and inhale, raise the arms up, palms touch, and exhale. Inhale, arms up, palms to the sky, little back bend. And then exhale, come forward, legs bent or straight here. Step the left leg back, lower the knee, untuck your toe, and inhale. We take the arms up, shoulder width apart or palms can touch. This is our crescent moon pose. Exhale, bring the hands down, tuck the left toes again, and we come into plank. So the body's in a straight line, like we're about to do a push-up, and then drop your knees, elbows, chest and chin. Inhale, through into Bhujangasana, cobra. Bend your legs, back into dog, and we're going to pause here and chant Shanti here. You can always come onto the knees if you need a little rest. Exhale. Breathe in. Shanti. Look towards your hands, left foot between your hands, right knee down, untuck your toes, crescent moon pose once again. Exhale, hands down, step the right foot forward, back into our forward bend. Inhale, come up, baby back bend, palms together, exhale. Okay, straight onto the other side. Breathe in and breathe out. Inhale. Fold forward, legs bent or straight. So right leg back this time. Lower the knee, untuck the toes, crescent moon pose. Hands down, we come into plank. And then the 8-pointed position. Inhale, come through into our back bend, Bhujangasana. Bend the legs into dog, or you can rest in child. Exhale, all breath here. Inhale. Shanti. Look towards your hands, right leg forward. Lower the left knee. Inhale, crescent moon. Exhale, step the left leg forward into our forward bend. Inhale, come up. And exhale. So that's considered one round. So we've got one more round to go. Inhale. Exhale. If you're low in energy, you can always sit down at this point or lie down, and you can visualize yourself doing the practice. Left leg back. Lower the left knee and raise the arms. Exhale into plank, body in a straight line, and then down into the 8-pointed position, through into cobra, back into dog. Exhale, breathing in. Shanti. Left leg forward, lower the right knee and inhale. Exhale, right leg forward, coming all the way up. And exhale. Okay, so last one. Breathe in. Breathe out. Right leg back into Ardha Chandrasana, crescent moon pose, and into plank. Knees, elbows, chest and chin. Inhale. And into dog. We pause, we exhale. Breathing in. Shanti. Right leg forward. Lower the left knee. Inhale. And exhale, left leg forward. Inhale, come up. And exhale. Just resting your hands on your heart. You might sigh the breath away. Soften the face, soften your shoulders. And just observe what's going on inside. We often say yoga is a work in, not a work out. We're interested in how the practice is affecting us on the inside. Subtle shifts and changes, not only physically, mentally, emotionally, energetically. Okay, let's release the hands and we're going to step the legs wide and keep the outer edges of the feet parallel. We'll work with another lateral stretch, a variation of Trikonasana, our triangle. So when you're ready, breathe in, raise the arms to shoulder height, turn to the left, tip over to the left, and the right arm stretches up, just looking down towards your left big toe. This top arm can be straight up, or for a stronger stretch, it can extend over the head a little. And then we breathe ourselves back to center. We turn to the right and tip over to the right side. So 2 more of these to each side. Link the movement with your breath. Coming back to center and bring your hands to your heart. Take a breath there. Okay, we're going to keep the legs as they are, but just turn the toes out a little bit for a squat, a wide-legged squat. So we can take the hands onto the hips and deep breath in. And as we breathe out, we're going to bend those legs, trying to keep the spine nice and upright. You can keep the hands on your hips, or you might like to bring the fingers into Jhana Mudra, so index finger and thumb lightly join, and breathe in, raise the arms out to the sides. The palms are turned away. Good. Holding here, sometimes called the goddess pose. You can always release if it becomes a bit intense. Those of you'd like a bit of a challenge, see if you can lift your left heel off the mat and hold that for a couple of breaths. Good, and then lower that heel and see if you can lift the right heel up. Good, and then finally, let's see if we can lift both heels up. A little trickier, bit of a balance. Keep the breath flowing. Good, and then lower your heels. Inhale, let's straighten the legs, stretch the arms up, palms come together. And exhale your hands down to your heart. Take a breath. Good work. Let's release the hands. We're going to come to lie down onto our backs with the feet stepped up close to the buttocks. Feet are hip width apart and just have a little rest. A well-earned rest. Let the body sink down into the support of Mother Earth. You might make an audible sighing sound. Let the body drop. And while you're resting, I'd like to share a beautiful passage with you from Lauren Roche from the Radiant Sutras. There is a place in the heart where everything meets. Go there if you want to find me. Mind, senses, soul, eternity, all are there. Are you there? Enter the bowl of vastness that is the heart. Give yourself to it with total abandon. Listen to the song that is always resonating there. Quiet ecstasy is there, and a steady, regal sense of resting in a perfect spot. Once you know the way, the nature of attention will call you to return again and again and be saturated with knowing, I belong here. I am at home here. Answer that call. Going to work now with bridge, Setu Bandhasana. You can choose this morning to either work dynamically, so you're lifting up and down with the breath, or to lift up and hold bridge. If you're not sure of bridge, you can watch and then join in. So feet are hip width, a little bit pigeon-toed. We check that our spine is in a straight line. Chin tucks down towards the chest, so the back of the neck is long. Our palms are pressing into the mat alongside our hips. Exhale all breath. And on the next inhalation, we slowly start to peel the spine away from the floor, lifting the hips up towards the sky. Now you might stay here, or as you exhale, roll back down, one vertebra at a time. Breathing in, we lift. And breathing out, we lower. If you're holding, you might like to take the forearms off the floor. So the fingers are pointing up towards the sky and the palms are facing each other. You can have a look if you're not sure. Otherwise, lifting and lowering with your breath. Inner knees are drawing towards each other. Press the big toe side of the foot into the mat. Tips of the shoulders are pressing into the mat, and we're lifting the belly, lifting the hips towards the sky. Make sure if you're holding that you're not tensing the buttock muscles too much. You can even have a feel. You want them to be as relaxed as possible. You can stay as long as you like here in bridge. When you've had enough, just quietly lower down. We'll bring the knees into the chest, crossing the legs at the ankles, a hand on each knee, and making some nice little circles on the floor with our lower back. Come back to center, cross the legs the other way and circling in the opposite direction. And come back to center. Before we rest in Shavasana, relaxation, we'll do a twist. So a gentle twist, we have the feet on the mat, hip width apart, arms at shoulder height, palms up or down. See what feels best for your shoulders. Those of you who want a stronger twist, the feet are in the air. Okay, again, just check that your spine is in alignment. Deep breath in. And knees will go over to the right side. We're going to hold this. Head may turn to the left if that's okay for your neck. So you're looking towards your left fingers. I'm just trying to soften here a little and breathe. And then gently come back to center, realign your spine and knees over to the left side. Head may turn to the right. We soften and breathe. And back to center. Okay, so we're going to come now into rest. If you need to have another little bit of a stretch or some last movement, feel free to do that. And then you can set yourself up. Any lower back issues, you might pop a bolster or some cushions underneath your knees. Otherwise, you can stretch the legs out along the mat. You might like to cover yourselves with a blanket. If you wear glasses, you might pop those to one side. And I'll just come up closer to you again. You might sigh the breath away a couple of times as you settle. Just lying down, letting go, and saying to yourselves once again, may I be happy. May I be healthy. May I ride the waves of my life. May I live in peace, no matter what I am given. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I ride the waves of my life. May I live in peace, no matter what I am given. Thich Nhat Hanh wrote, when the energy of love is strong in us, we can send it to beings in all directions. We may imagine our love as being like waves of sound or light, or like a pure white cloud that forms slowly and gradually spreads out to envelop the whole world. So I invite you now to visualize a special loved one in your life who you know is in pain or suffering at this time. Visualize this person's face. Be aware of how the suffering is affecting their body, their mind. And say their name a few times if it helps make the practice more real for you. Now begin to say to them, may you be happy. May you be healthy. May you ride the waves of your life. May you live in peace, no matter what you are given. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you ride the waves of your life. May you live in peace, no matter what you are given. And then focus back on your own heart. Let your breath and heart rest naturally as a center of great compassion in the midst of our world. Feel free to remain lying down if you're enjoying resting. But those of you who are ready to resume your day, just start now to deepen the breath. Bring some movement into your fingers and toes. Have a bit of a stretch. And then just roll to one side and curl up into a little ball. Hug your knees in. I'd just like to share some final words with you from the writer Bianca Sparaccini. The kindest people are not born that way, they are made. They are the ones who have dug themselves out of the dark, who have fought to turn every loss into a lesson, The kindest people don't just exist. They choose to soften where circumstances has tried to harden them. They choose to believe in goodness because they have seen firsthand why compassion is so necessary. They have seen firsthand why tenderness is so important in this world. Feel free to come up to sit if you'd like to, and we'll close with the chant Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. So if you'd like to join me, we'll bring the hands over the heart this morning. Exhale all breath. Breathing in. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Just bowing your head down, connecting the deep wisdom of your mind with the deep wisdom of your heart. And lift the head up. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you so much. Enjoy the sunshine today. Bye for now.